Hello everyone. So our today's topic of discussion is the basics of starts, the basic topics of starts. And in today's video, we'll be discussing the concept of mean, median, mode, and range. Okay. And then based upon that, we'll be solving questions. So what we'll be doing is, first of all, we'll be understanding the terms. We'll first understand the terms mean, median, and mode. Okay. How do you define mean? How do you calculate mean? Then we'll also understand this another term, very important term, that is the term weighted average. Then we'll understand the term median, what exactly is median, how do you define it. Then we'll also understand the term mode. Okay, once done with that, we're going to solve some questions, probably like 9 to 10 questions based on these three concepts, and then we'll discuss the next term, that is the term range. All right, and then based upon that, we'll be solving a couple of questions. So overall, once you're done with this entire video, probably I'll have to make 2 videos because it's going to stretch a lot, very frankly. So once you're done with these 2 videos, you'll be able to understand what is mean, median, mode, and range, and how do you calculate these 4 things when given to you in a question. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start with the first thing, that is mean or weighted average. So mean is also known as average. Mean is also known as average, and the simplest way to define mean or average is, that is mean or average will be equal to sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. Like the simplest way of defining a mean or average is, it's simply sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. For example, let's suppose you have a set of observations such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have 5 observations, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and let's suppose you want to calculate mean of these 5 observations. So how would you calculate the mean? You're going to sum them up. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. You're going to divide that by total number of observations, that is 5. So you'll get mean is equal to 3. You will get mean is equal to 3. So what is mean? In simple terms, it's nothing but sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. You can be asked mean in different forms also. For example, they can give you an information in form of a table. So let's suppose this is students and marks. So 12, 15, 10, 17, 8, 19. Okay, so I've given you this table where it says that 12 students have scored 15 marks, 10 have scored 17 each, and 8 have scored 19 each. Find the average marks scored by 30 students. Find the average marks scored by 30 students. Find the average marks scored by 30 students. So how do you do that? Or basically, first thing is, what does this table represent? That's the first thing we need to understand. This table basically says that there are 12 students each scoring 15, 10 students each scoring 17, 8 students each scoring 19. Okay, so first of all, in order to calculate some of the observations, what you'll have to do is, you'll have to multiply 12 into 15, so that will be 180, 17 into 10, that's 170, and then 19 into 8, so 190 minus 38, so that will be 152. Because this table basically represents, you'll have to write like 15 12 times, then you'll have to write 17 10 times, and you'll have to write 19 8 times. This is basically what this table represents. Okay, 15 12 times, 17 10 times, and 19 8 times. All right, if you want to write that in the other form. Anyways, so now what you have to do, you have calculated the total marks for the individual score, so you'll have to sum them up. So 180, 170 and 152. So 2, 15, 20, 0, 2 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 502. That is simply 502. So the total marks scored by these 30 students, or sum of the marks scored by these 30 students, is equal to 502. So what will be their average? Their average will simply be 502 divided by 30. Will simply be 502 divided by 30. That will be roughly around 17 point something, or 16.66. It should be 16.66. My mistake, not 17. And that's your answer. So what is mean or what is average? Keep it very simple. Mean or average is simply sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. Whether your observation consists of constants, whether your observation consists of variables, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The simple thing is, mean or average is simply sum of the observations divided by a total number of observations. That's it. Whenever they're going to give you the question on mean, you're going to use this formula. That's it. You will not use anything else. Okay. Anyways, once we'll start solving question, things will become more clear to all of you. Don't worry about that. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing, which is like a very, very, very important topic, and that is the topic of weighted average. That is the topic of weighted average. Now, average we have discussed. What is average? Average or mean, it's nothing but sum of the observation divided by total number of observations. The question comes, why do you have to add this word weighted in it? Like, what's the significance of this word weighted? Okay, why do you have to add this word weighted in it? Let's take an example in order to understand what do you mean by this term weighted, because understanding of this word is very important. Okay, that's critical. Let's say I have two people, one of them weighs 50, other person weighs 60. I have two people, one of them weighs 50, the other person weighs 60. Can I say the average weight of these two people will be 55? Can I say the average weight of these two people will be 55? That is 50 plus 60 divided by 2. That's 110 divided by 2. That is equal to 55. Okay. Let's say I have two people weighing 50 and I have two people weighing 60. I have two people weighing 50 and I have two people weighing 60. What will be the average weight of these four people? What will be the average weight of these four people? The average weight of these four people will be 50 plus 50 plus 60 plus 60 divided by 4. That is 220 by 4, which will again come out to be 55. Which will again come out to be 55. Let's say now I have three people weighing 50 and three people weighing 60. What will be the average weight of these six people? In order to calculate the average, first we need to calculate the sum. So that's 50 plus 50 plus 50, that's 150. 60 plus 60 plus 60, that's 180. 150 plus 180 is 330. 330 divided by 6, that will again give you 55. But now, if I change my scenario, and now if I say that I have two people weighing 50 and three people weighing 60, what will become of my average weight? What will become of my average weight? Now the question is not for you to find out the exact value. Like, I'm not asking that give me the exact value, it's going to be 56 or 57. No, that's not the question. The actual question is, will my average weight be greater than 55, less than 55, or equal to 55? Will my average weight be greater than 55, less than 55, or equal to 55? So you'll realize that in this case, your average weight will be greater than 55. Your average weight in this case, your average weight will be greater than 55. Your average weight will be greater than 55. So what did we learn from this? When you talk about this concept weighted average, what exactly is meant by weighted average? It basically means your average or your mean tends to shift in the direction of that observation. It tends to shift in the direction of that observation which has a higher frequency. It tends to shift in the direction of that observation which has a higher frequency. In the first three cases, if you'll observe carefully, you realize that frequency for 50 and 60 was equal. 50 was 1, 60 was 1, 50 came twice, 60 came twice, 50 came thrice, 60 came thrice. So the average was exactly in the middle. Average was exactly in the middle. It was exactly in the center. It was exactly in the middle. But for the last case, you have two 50s and three 60s. You have two 50s and three 60s. If you have two 50s and three 60s, the frequency of 60 is more. The frequency of 60 is more. The average will move towards 60. The average will move towards 60. Or in other terms, you can say that weight of 60 is more. In other terms, you can say that weight of 60 is more. That's why average has shifted towards 60. It will be closer to 60 than 50. It will be closer to 60 in comparison to 50. It will be closer to 60 in comparison to 50. This is basically what it means. This is what is meant by the term weighted average. Your average tends to shift in the direction of the observation which has a higher frequency. This is basically what it means. And why does that happen? We can evaluate that logically also. Okay, let's evaluate that. Can I say this 150 will be compensated by this 160 and the average will become 55? 150 will be compensated by 160 and the average will exactly be in the 55. Next 50 will be compensated by next 60 and the average will again be 55. And the average will again be 55. The problem is this one extra 60, which is pulling the average towards it. Because I do not have a 50. I'm done with my 50s. 160 is left, which is pulling the which is gonna pull the average towards itself. That's why your average will be more towards 60 in comparison to 50. It will not be exactly in the middle. This is what is meant by weighted average. I'm going to give you the formula also, but I hope this concept is clear. When you talk about weighted average, the average tends to shift towards that observation which has a higher frequency. This is basically what it means. Okay. All right. Now let's what's the formula? Let's see, have a look at the formula also. So consider N1 to be number of boys in a class. Consider N2 to be the number of girls in a class. Consider X1 to be the average marks scored by boys in the class. Consider X2 to be the average marks scored by girls in that class. N1 represents number of boys, N2 represents number of girls, X1 represents average marks scored by boys, X2 represents average marks scored by girls. If you want to calculate the average scored by the entire class, if you want to calculate the average marks scored by the entire class, that is X average, then your formula becomes N1 X1 plus n2 x2 divided by n1 plus n2. And if you want to calculate the average marks scored by all the students in the class, that is equal to n1 x1 plus n2 x2 divided by n1 plus n2. So n1 x1 represents total marks scored by boys, n2 x2 represent total marks scored by girls, and divide by n1 plus n2, so that represents total number of boys and girls. That represents total number of boys and girls. Now the formula is quite simple. Okay, it's like the formula, it's just an extrapolated form of the formula for mean, that is the sum of the observation divided by number of observations. So when you are doing n1 x1 and n2 x2, you're basically calculating the sum of all the observations, and n1 plus n2 is going to give you the total number of observations. Now what's important here for you to understand, is if n1 is greater than n2, if n1 is greater than n2, then your average will be slightly towards x1. Or let's do the first thing, that is, let's take the case when the number of observations are equal. Then you will be able to relate it more comfortably. If n1 is equal to n2, if n1 is equal to n2, in that case your average will exactly be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Your average will exactly be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. You can plug in the values and verify also. If n1 is equal to n2, then I can say it will become n1 x1 plus n1 x2 divided by n1 plus n1. So this will become x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This will simply become x1 plus x2 divided by 2. It will simply be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. That's it. So if n1 is equal to n2, you can see that your average is exactly in the middle. Your average is exactly in the middle of x1 and x2, because you're taking the average, so average basically means exactly in the center. If in case n1 is greater than n2, if in case n1 is greater than n2, if n1 is greater than n2, then your average will be slightly towards x1. It will be slightly towards x1, because the frequency of x1 is more. The frequency of x1 is more. Okay, if n1 is greater than n2, then your average will be towards x1. Average will be towards x1. Okay, let's prove that also. We need proof. Let's do one thing. Let's take number of boys to be 10. Average marks scored by boys also to be 10. Number of girls to be 9. Average marks scored by girls also to be 9, and divided by 10 plus 9, that's 90. Now technically, if I would have taken the number of boys equal to number of girls, that is both of them to be 10, if I would have taken number of boys equal to number of girls, that is both of them equal to 10, in that case my average should have been 9.5. Yes, my average should have been 9.5. Let's see what will become of my average in this case, where the number of boys is greater than number of girls. So this will basically become 100 plus 81 divided by 90, which is equal to 181 divided by 90, which will give you your answer as 9.526, which will give you your answer as 9.526. You can see that it's more towards 10. It's closer to 10. It is closer to 10. It is closer to 10 than to 9. It is closer to 10 than to 9. So your average has shifted towards the average of boys. Or if n1 is greater than n2, then your average did shift towards x1. your average did shift towards x1. This is what you need to understand. And same thing will happen. Let's suppose if I change this and if I make this 11, for example, so the number of girls now is 11. So this will become 10, sorry, I think, yeah, so 10, 11, that will become 21. So this will become 99 and this will be 21. So this is like 199 divided by 21. This will be 199 divided by 21 and that will give you a result as 9.47. Now you can see that the average is more towards the average of girls. The average is more towards the average of girls. What I'm basically changing is, don't get confused, I'm changing these values. This is N1, this is N2. Okay, this represents number of boys and this represents number of girls. If you keep number of boys and number of girls equal, your average will exactly be in the middle of x1 and x2. If n1 is greater, your average will be more towards x1. If n2 is greater, then your average will be more towards x2. This is a very, very, very important concept. You need to know this. Like not the formula, this concept. If they are equal, then it's exactly in the middle. If n1 is greater, then it's towards x1. If n2 is greater, then it's towards x2. This is what you need to understand. Alright. So this is more or less everything regarding mean and weighted average that you need to know. Now we'll have to solve questions. We'll have to apply our logics. So you'll be able to understand in a much better way once we like start solving questions. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing, that is the term median. So the question is, how do you define median? So in simple terms, median can be defined as, it is the middle value or the central observation whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. It is the middle value or central observation whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. Whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. For example, let's start with an easy example. First of all, I have a set of numbers 704 minus 1 and 6, and if I ask like calculate the median, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to arrange them in ascending or descending order. You have to arrange these terms in ascending or descending order. I prefer ascending, so I'm going to arrange them as minus 1, 0, 4, 6 and 7. Now which term is the middle value or which term is the central observation? This 4 is the middle value or the central observation. This 4 is the middle value or the central observation. So what is your median? Your median is 4. What is your median? Your median is 4, and that's your answer. So it's the middle value or the central observation whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. Whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. All right. Now, how do you calculate median? Like not in every case you can like simply start arranging terms in ascending or descending, because there can be like a lot of terms also, right? So there has to be a way out basically. So if you want to calculate median, there are like two basic ways. There are two separate cases. Let me put it in this way. There are two separate cases. The first case is when you have odd number of terms. I'm saying I have odd number of terms, not odd terms, odd number of terms. Odd number of terms basically means I have like 11 terms or 13 terms or 17 terms or 19 terms or 21 terms, those. Okay, that is what is meant by odd number of terms. So if you have odd number of terms, then the medianth term, now understand this formula is to calculate, or this relationship is to calculate the medianth term. It will give you the term which is median. It will not give you the final answer, it will give you the term, like the fifth term is the median or seventh term is the median, but the final answer is the value of that term. The final answer is the value of that term. Okay, so if you have odd number of terms, then the medianth term can be calculated as n plus 1 divided by 2. Then the medianth term can be calculated as n plus 1 divided by 2. Then the medianth term can be calculated as n plus 1 divided by 2. So for example, let's suppose you have 11 terms. Let's suppose you have 11 terms. You have arranged 11 terms in ascending order or descending order also. Then if you want to calculate the medianth term, you're gonna replace n by 11. You're gonna replace n by 11, and your medianth term will come 11 plus 1 by 2, which is basically my sixth term. Which is basically my sixth term. Which is basically my sixth term. So the sixth term in the ascending or the descending order, the value of the sixth term, the value of the sixth term is your median. Value of the sixth term is your median. For example, let's suppose the first 6 terms comes out to be like 1, 8, 4, 7, 8, and let's suppose then this comes out to be some value b. So this, what's your median? Your median is b. Your median is b. This is basically what it means. So the formula that we have is to calculate the medianth term. Understand, this will not give you the final answer. The value of that term is your final answer. The value of that term is your final answer. The value of that term is your final answer. Okay. If in case you have even number of terms, if in case you have even number of terms, then there are two medianth terms. Then there are two medianth terms. Let's again consider I have n number of terms. So even number of terms basically means I have 20 terms, 30 terms, 34 terms, 56 terms. Okay. So the medianth term, there are two medianth terms, and that will be n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. That will be n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. And if you want to calculate the median, then you will take the average of the values of these two terms. Let's take an example in order to understand this. This may be a bit confusing to you. So let's say I have terms 0, 4, 3, 7, minus 1, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take only 6 terms. Okay. First thing is arrange them in ascending order. So that will be minus 1, 0, 3, 4, 7 and 8. So if n is 6, then the medianth term will be the third term and the fourth term. Then the medianth term will be the third term and the fourth term. Now, interestingly, in this case, my third term is 3 and my fourth term is 4. My third term is 3 and my fourth term is 4. So what you'll have to do is, your third term is 3, your fourth term is 4. So you're going to take average of these two terms, or you're going to take the average of the value of these two terms. Okay, you're going to take the average of the values of these two terms. So this will basically become 7 divided by 2, and that will be equal to 3.5. That will be equal to 3.5. So what is your median? Your median is 3.5. So I'm going to repeat this again. The formula that we have, or the relationship that we have, is to calculate the median term. It is to calculate the median term. For odd number of terms, the median term is n plus 1 by 2. The median term is n plus 1 by 2. For even number of terms, the median term is n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. It is n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. So if you want to calculate the median, it will be the average. It will be the average of the values of the two terms. It will be the average of the values of the two terms. So third term is 3, fourth term is 4, so it will become 3 plus 4 by 2, that is 7 by 2, which is 3.5. This is how you calculate the median. Okay, so it's simply the central observation or the middle observation. In another terms, you can say that it's the observation which divides your entire series into two parts. It's that number which divides your entire series or entire set of numbers into two equal parts, because median comes exactly at the 50th percentile. It comes exactly in the middle. It comes exactly in the center. Okay. Alright, next is the term mode. Mode is a very simple term. Okay. So mode is basically defined as observations that occurs most frequently in a given set of numbers, or set is not the right word, let's use the word list, because when you talk about set, you can't repeat an observation twice. Okay, so then the question will come up like, how can you use the word set? So in simple terms, what is mode? Mode is nothing but observation or observations that occurs most frequently in a given list of numbers. For example, let me give you an example for that. Let's say I have a set of numbers such as, again, the wrong word, let's have a list of numbers or list of observations So go through these observations carefully and like have your mental answer ready, like what will be your mode in this case. What will be the mode in this case? In this case, what's happening is, I think 4 is occurring once, twice and thrice, and same thing I can say for 7. Same thing I can say for 7, that is 7 is also occurring once, twice, or thrice. 7 is also occurring thrice. So 4 is occurring thrice, 7 is also occurring thrice. So what will be the mode? 4 and 7 are the modes. So yes, you can have more than one mode. You can have more than one mode. It is quite possible. So remember that what is mode? Mode is basically observation or observations that occurs most frequently in a given list of numbers. That occurs most frequently in a given list of numbers. That is what is known as the term mode. Okay. Now, since you can have more than one modes, which is possible, so there are like two important statements which we need to understand. So let's understand both of them. And these statements you'll find in the questions also. Okay, these statements you will definitely find in the questions. So let's suppose statement number 1 is mode is 8, and statement number 2 is 8 is a mode. So what is the difference? Statement number 1 is mode is 8, statement number 2 is 8 is a mode. What is the difference between these two statements? When you use the first statement that mode is 8, when the question uses the first statement, if the question uses the first statement that mode is 8, this basically means that there is only one mode, which is 8. Or 8 is that observation which is occurring the highest number of times. There is only one mode, which is 8. Or 8 is occurring the highest number of times. When you say 8 is a mode, that basically means 8 is one of the modes, and there is a possibility of other modes also, of other observation being modes also. When you say 8 is a mode, then 8 is one of the modes. There's a possibility of another observation being mode also. This is where the difference is. When you say mode is 8, see, if you go from the perspective of English also, when you say mode is 8, you're defining mode. That mode is 8. You're defining mode. When you say 8 is a mode, then you're defining 8. That 8 is a mode. So there is a possibility that you can have more modes also. Okay. So this is more or less everything that you need to know as far as the mean, weighted average, median, and modes are concerned. So let's just quickly revise them. What is mean? Mean or average is simply like sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. When you talk about weighted average, if you keep on increasing or decreasing the weights, the average keeps on shifting. Okay, and the average tends to shift in direction of that observation which has a higher weight. When you talk about median, median is the central observation or the middle term whenever terms are arranged in ascending or descending order. What is mode? Mode is basically the observation or observations that occurs most frequently in a given list of numbers. Okay, this is how you define the three terms. Okay. Alright, so the next thing, we all know what we have to do. So we'll be solving a couple of questions, probably 2 or 3 questions for this video, and then the rest of the questions and the next topic, that is range, we'll be discussing in the next video. Otherwise this video will become too long, and that's not right. Alright. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. So pause the video and draw this question, please. Alright, so let's try this one. So the question says, which of the following does not affect the median of a list of 7 different numbers? Which of the following does not affect the median of a list of 7 different numbers? So let's say my 7 different numbers are A, B, C, D, E, F and G, and let's take them to be in ascending order itself. Let's take them to be in ascending order itself, which means the D will become median. Because it's the term which is coming in the center, or if you have like 7 observations, then the medianth observation will be 7 plus 1 by 2, 7 plus 1 by 2, which will be the fourth observation. Okay, what does option A says? Which of the following does not affect? Option A says, if I'm going to multiply each term by 0.5. If I'm going to multiply each term by 0.5, then my terms will become 0.5a, 0.5b, 0.5c, 0.5d, 0.5e, 0.5f, 0.5g. So you'll observe that the value of the fourth term has changed. So the median is changed. The median did change. Understand, median is the value. It is the value, okay? The formula that we have is to calculate the median term, the term which will be median. It will be the term which will be the median. But what is median? Median is that value of that term. Median is the value of that term, okay? So A is out because it's changing. Okay, second observation says that, or second option says that you're gonna add 78 to each number. So that is A plus 78, B plus 78, C plus 78, D plus 78, E plus 78, F plus 78 and G plus 78. Again you will observe that the value of the fourth term did change. The value of the fourth term did change. Okay, so the median increased, or basically the median changed. That's the bottom line, that the median changed. The bottom line is that the median changed. Okay, option C, you're multiplying the largest number by 2, so my terms will become A, B, C, D, E, F and 2G. Now G was already the largest, or the largest number was basically the largest number. If I'm going to multiply that by 2, it will still be the largest number. And that will not affect the value of the fourth term. The fourth term will still be D. And in this case the median will not change. Okay, option D, increasing the smallest number by 10. Okay, now this is a very interesting option, increasing the smallest number by 10. Now I know that A, B, C, D, E, F, G are in their ascending orders. A being the smallest, G being the highest. These 7 numbers are in their ascending orders. Now if you're going to increase A by 10, you do not know where would A plus 10 land up. It may happen that A plus 10 is still the smallest. It may happen that A plus 10 occupies the second space. It may happen that it occupies the third space. It may happen it occupies the fourth space. It may also happen that A plus 10 becomes the largest. It may also happen that a plus 10 becomes the largest. You do not know where would a plus 10 would land. You do not know where would a plus 10 would land up. So there is a possibility, there is a probability, there is a possibility, there is a probability that the median would get affected. That the median would get affected. That the median would get affected. So increasing the smallest number by 10 does not give me any surety that the mean will not be affected. There is a possibility that the mean will be affected. Okay, so there is a possibility. I think possibility of median. I think mistakenly I have said the word mean. Possibility of median getting affected. Possibility of median getting affected. What does option E says? Option E says decrease smallest number only. Decreasing the smallest number only. Now if I'm going to decrease the smallest number, A is already the smallest, okay? If I'm going to keep on decreasing it, it will become smaller and smaller and smaller. It will become smaller and smaller and smaller. Would it have any effect on the number at fourth position? Will it have any effect on the number at fourth position? Will it have any effect on D? No, it will not have any effect on D. Because A was already the smallest, you're decreasing it, it will still be the smallest. It's not going to have any impact on D. So option number E and option number C are the two options in which cases the median will not be affected. The median will not be affected. These are the two cases where the median will not be affected. These are the two cases where the median will not be affected. Okay. So this is how you solve a typical question of median. And these are the types of questions which you can expect in SAT, which you can expect in GRE, which you can expect in GMAT also. Like, of course, for GRE and GMAT, you will not have any multiple options correct, but I hope you have got the point. That's the concern. Okay, let's solve one more question for this video. Pause the video and draw this question, please. Alright, let's try this one. Given a list of 7 different integers, it says, okay, the median of the given 7 numbers is X. Like, if I have 7 numbers, can you tell me the median will come at which position? The median will come at 4th position. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is where X is going to be. Okay. Now, whenever you talk about median, you have to arrange terms in ascending or descending. I prefer ascending, so I'm going to arrange them in ascending order. So I'm going to automatically have 8, 15, 20, 32, 40 and 55. I have to arrange them in ascending or descending order. I prefer ascending, so I started with the smallest. I went till the highest. So I have a list of 7 different integers and the median of the given 7 numbers is X, which means the 4th position is X. So I have placed X at the 4th position and then I arranged the remaining numbers in the ascending order with whatever dashes I was left with. Question is, what should be the value of X so that the mean is maximum? Now, what is mean? What is mean? Mean is sum of the observations divided by a number of observations. Sum of the observations divided by a number of observations. Now, number of observations is a constant value which is 7. You can't alter that because you have 7 numbers, you have 7 integers. The only thing you can maximize is the sum. The only thing you can maximize is the sum. The only thing you can maximize is sum. Now in case of sum also 7 numbers are constant. Sorry, my mistake, 6 numbers are constant. That is 8 is a constant value, you can't alter that. 15 is a constant value, you can't alter that. Same goes for 20, 32, 40 and 55. I can't alter these 6 numbers. These are constant numbers. The only thing I can increase or decrease is the value of x. The only thing I can increase or decrease is the value x. So if I want to maximize my mean, I'll have to maximize my sum. That basically means I'll have to maximize the value of x. I'll have to maximize the value of x. And what can be the maximum possible value of x? The maximum possible value of x is 31. The maximum possible value of x is 31 because the question says 7 different integers. Question says 7 different integers. So the maximum possible value of x that I can take is 31. I can't take it to be 32 because it says different integers. I can't take it to be greater than 32 because in that case x will not be the median. Let's suppose if I take the value of x to be 33, in that case 32 will become the median, because whenever you talk about median you have to arrange terms in ascending or descending order. Okay, so the maximum possible value of x is 32. Sorry, my mistake, 31 will be 31. Sorry, not 32, 31. The maximum possible value of x is 31 and that's your answer. Okay, let me change this question for you. Instead of saying that 7 different integers, I simply say that given a list of 7 integers. If I simply say given a list of 7 integers, then let me know what will be your answer in the comment box. What will be your answer? Let me know your answer in the comment box. If I remove this word different, then what will be your answer? Okay. So guys, let's keep it till here for this video. In the next video, we'll be talking about, we'll be solving more questions on mean, mode and median. And once done with that, then we'll understand the concept of range, and then we're going to solve a couple of questions on range also. And then more or less all of your concepts on median, mean and mode and range will be clarified and clear. Okay, if you have any doubts, if you have any concerns, if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions, please do let us know in the comment box, or you can WhatsApp us, you can mail us also. Okay, and if you're looking for any personalized classes, you can always connect with us. You have my WhatsApp number, you have my mail ID also. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching the video. Keep watching and keep learning. Thank you so much.